You are listening to Secrets to Attracting Wealth, your practical roadmap for developing a millionaire mindset. Written and narrated by Pasha Carter, produced by Seminars on Demand. Duplicating or copying any part of this content in any form is strictly prohibited.
Pasha Carter is an internationally sought-after speaker, trainer, and sales expert. She is known as an industry legend and one of the most famous and influential direct selling leaders in America. Pasha has built sales organizations totaling over 100,000 distributors, expanding into several countries. She was also ranked in the top 15 female networkers in the world out of over 14 million women.
She's very engaging.
She's so real and tells it like it is. You know it's coming from her heart, her experience.
I think she's great. She's very energetic.
She's very passionate about what she's teaching.
Pasha Carter has conducted thousands of live events around the world with audiences as large as 20,000 people. She has trained more than 1 million people on how to become leaders, team builders, and top producing salespeople.
Very powerful and heartfelt speech.
Very relatable.
Very likable.
Very engaging.
She's very good. She's very energetic and she's very interactive.
She really drove home that anyone can succeed, and she showed me how.
I think that she's amazing.
Absolutely a 10. She was wonderful.
Furthermore, she has shared the stage with virtually every major speaker in the personal development and business training spaces. I'm talking about thought leaders like Anthony Robbins, Mark Victor Hansen, Les Brown, Robert Kiyosaki, and Eric Thomas, to name a few. Pasha's mission is to help people break through the bondage and excuses that stop them from reaching true freedom emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. So if you are ready to launch to your next level, please join me in welcoming Pasha Carter.
Well, first of all, let me start by saying that it's an absolute honor to be here. I'm excited because I get to talk to all of you about my favorite topic. Now, this is how it started. I was 23 years old. And anybody ever had that person where they kept calling you and inviting you out to these personal growth things or inviting you out to these meetings and you kept ignoring them? Anybody ever been there, or was it just me? Oh, wow, everybody, huh? So listen, what happened to me at 23 years old, a family member continued to call me and say, hey, you got to come out and take a look at something. You got to come out and take a look at something. And it was because at 23 years old, he knew that I was in a funk in my life. Anybody ever just been in a funk where you just were at the point where you weren't happy doing what you're doing? And that was me at 23. And let me tell you why. Both of my parents were educators. My dad was an educator for 30 years. My mom was an educator for 29 years. So guess what I was taught? I was taught if you want to be successful, all you have to do is go out and get a good education, because then that education is going to get you a good job, but not just a good job, a good job with good benefit. Oh, wow. You guys were told the same story, huh? How many of you figured out that plan doesn't quite work? Because here I was at 23. I did all of that. You know, I went to school. I was always on the honor roll because it was a requirement in my household. If you want to have any life, you got to be on the honor roll. And then I went off to college. And in college, I found myself just kind of trying to figure out why I'm here. And to make a long story short, I ended up leaving Alabama at the time. I went to University of Alabama, Roll Tide. And I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, really in search of a better way. And when I got there, I was at the point where I was working not just one job, but I was working 2 jobs. So I was working at Emory University during the day, and in the evenings I was a gymnastics instructor and an NFL cheerleader. So I had a lot of stuff that I was doing. But here's what happened. I found myself at a point where even with 2 jobs, I was sleeping on the floor of my best friend's 1-bedroom apartment because I couldn't make ends meet. And so when I say I was in a funk, I was at the point in my life where I said, how did I get here? Like, I thought I'd done all the right things. Like, how did I end up here? And so when I was invited out to that presentation, I was like the worst person you'd ever want to invite out because I was negative. Anybody ever had somebody that needs to be positive and open, but they're negative?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?